am usually fructose free, but I saw this new limited edition Coca-Cola flavor yesterday, Dream World flavored Coke, and I'm a super taster. And I also just love getting to taste new things, so I'm not going to drink the whole thing because I am off fructose, but I'm going to have a little taste. And so is Jim.
Yay. I don't understand how they're making up like these fake flavors. Like,
yeah, like the last one was Starlight or something.
It tastes like... It
smells like orange Tic Tacs. Right off the bat.
That's a good way to... I was like, it smells like some kind of candy I've had. It's really underwhelming. It's like pomegranate.
It's less carbonated than Coke.
Like a grapefruit or something.
It really tastes like somebody just put a bunch of the like fruity Tic Tacs into some carbonation.
Yep.
Kind of vaguely fruity. So yeah, pomegranate maybe. Like fake orange.
It tastes like really nasty, cheap candy. You find out it's
local, candy flavored,
like, dark alleyway.
Apparently, a Dream World tastes like candy.
Yeah,
just
what it is.
Generic fruity candy.
Really nasty with stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Or like if you put a whole handful of Skittles in your mouth without looking.
What are those candies that they kind of remind me of Lucky Charms, but they're not? But they're like little hard candy fruit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about? And you get them, they're just like it's like a miniature lemon. Remind me of Rant.
See, when I was a kid, I would take Rants and I would put them in water and I would make tea because it would turn the water brown because it was like 10 different colors. And that is a lot like what this tastes like.
Yeah, it tastes like Rants.
So that's what the new Dream World Limited Edition Coca-Cola tastes like, is candy water. I'm going to leave the rest of this bottle for my mom and dad to try because we're in their house right now. I don't have like a camera holder for my car yet, so we'll see if the setup works, but I kind of just felt like blowing off a little steam and saving time. I will do a haul at home, but I just had a really stressful evening. Kind of an inevitable one. I knew ahead of time that it might be stressful, but it still was just it was like there were unexpected elements. Like basically we were going out with some people who tend to stress me out. And then when we got where we were going, the service was awful, and communication with everyone just was not going great anyway. But we didn't see a waiter for like 45 minutes. I finally went up to the place and was like, hey, we've been waiting for like 45 minutes just to get our order taken. We're about to it's one of those places where there's like an activity and dinner. So I was like, we're fixing to give up on eating here and ask for like a partial refund just for the experience. And they're like, oh, no, I'm so sorry. Oh, wow, no, we'll totally take care of it. So, like, we chose to stay, and I regret that, but, like, I really wanted it to be, like, up to everybody else, because part of why that particular group of people is so stressful to me is that a lot of times they all look to me to, like, spearhead everything. Like, they just expect me to be kind of, like, the decision maker for everything, the researcher for everything, the primary communicator about everything, and then even though none of them like voluntarily offered any help whatsoever in planning it, if it doesn't go 100% flawlessly, it's then my fault. And so I've really been trying to like back off from sorry, I'll turn down my fan. I've really been trying to back off from being put in charge of things that really just shouldn't be my my responsibility anyway. But I ended up being the Karen that went up. I don't think you're actually being a Karen if service like legitimately sucks. I think waiting 45 minutes to even get a drink order, like we didn't even get asked if we wanted drinks. Like that's how bad it was. And I was thirsty because I'm nursing and it's still warm, you know. And we're doing an activity the whole time, so it's like, okay, you know. So anyway, so I was already like really hungry, really thirsty, which was making me very cranky. I was with people that I don't really like, who I usually need to be well fed to be able to like feel safe speaking around them, because I need like 100% of my faculties to be present to make sure that I don't say something regrettable or just frankly come across as a jerk. Because I don't want to come across that way, but like if I'm really hangry and I already don't really like you, it's going to be harder for me to fake it, you know? So anyway, so it was just like, and then like finally we get somebody to come take our order, and everybody that we're with, which this is just sort of like characteristic of their personalities that makes it frustrating for me. They're like being both super indecisive and yet somehow opinionated about what we should order, because they want to try to save money by like getting like a large thing and then sharing it. And I hate, I'm sorry, I'm venting big time. I really, really, really particularly dislike, like it's hard enough to split a check, especially in that particular context when you have no waiter. And by the way, like even after they said like, oh, we'll send someone, it still was like an hour and 10 minutes in before someone came to the table. And then like my companions are taking forever to pick something to eat, and they think that they're going to save money by sharing something that nobody particularly wants to eat. It's just like easy. But I just was at that point like so determined to not like be responsible for the decision making or telling people no or disappointing anyone. Like I was just done. I was like, I don't even want to be here. I'm here as the like caretaker of the children. Like that's, I'm like, you know, you want me here because you want my kids here, and I am here to keep them happy and not underfoot and having a good time. And so I'm just not going to participate in anything else like involving like, you know. And so, and you know, it's fine for my husband. You know, my husband is perfectly capable of making any and all of these decisions anyway. And so, and he was there, so I was just like, you know, he can represent both of us. I don't need to be involved with this, especially because I'm super cranky and hungry. And so like, you know, frankly, perfectly forgivable sort of miscommunications or lack of like indecisions don't deserve to be ticking me off as bad as they currently are. So I just kind of kept my mouth shut and tried to stay out of it. So I even just told my husband, like, just order for me or whatever, you know, y'all are doing. Just, I don't care. Like, you know, make sure there's enough food for everyone. That's all I care about. So then the food takes forever. They don't bring us any water, so I go up and like find water cups. Long story, like it's not like a traditional restaurant, obviously. But anyway, so we finally get this big shared thing of food and continue with the activity. We finish it up, and then we wait like half an hour for the waitress to come back and give us our check. And I take her aside to try to just, because like, again, the people that I'm with are just not good communicators. So I took her aside and was just like, hey, you know, we're going to pay this much of the check, and then that person is going to pay the other part of the check. So can you just split it like that? And she was like, totally. So she like made a note of it and took my card and then went, and she didn't take the card of the other person. And I was like, okay, I guess she'll take it when she gets back. So then the other person just starts to leave without even asking about whether they're supposed to pay their check. And I was like, have you paid yet? And they were like, oh no, am I paying? And I was like, yeah. And like, to be clear, just like the relationship we have with this person, this is not like a questionable, like this isn't like an ambiguous thing. Like, it is, of course they're paying for themselves. We've gone out for these kinds of occasions for years and years, and every time they try to get out of paying, which is what part of why I didn't want to hang out with them in the first place. But what is it? Something about picking friends and noses, and anyway. So I was like, yeah, I told them to split it this way. So you need to wait with me. And they're like, oh, okay. So we're waiting for my card to get back, and then the waitress comes up and she's like, I'm so sorry, but they didn't split the check at all, but like we left your drink off of it. And I'm like, we paid for the drink separately at the bar, because my husband got a beer. And I was like, whatever, like I don't want to wait another hour. My kids are super cranky. I totally didn't get enough to eat when all was said and done, because it wasn't enough food. And I was just like, whatever, I'll pay it and we'll figure it out later. So I paid. And the whole thing was just so frustrating. Like, I think everyone else had fun. And I know that I went into it already a little bit, like, miserable because I didn't sleep enough last night. So I just, we took the family home. I dropped off my husband and the kids and was like, can you just get them into bed? I need to blow off some steam. And so I went over to Walmart just to walk around and look for Halloween decorations. And now I'm about to do a haul, but I just kind of wanted to like vent here so I didn't have to be doing it in earshot of my husband, because I'm sure he doesn't want to hear it right now. I hope he had fun, and I don't want to mess that up if he did have fun. So, but yeah, it took like, not even kidding, it took me about 45 minutes of walking in circles around Walmart before I even just felt like my heart rate go down. I was just so frustrated, and I'm still very hungry, and I'm feeling very, very discouraged about my diet, but I'll probably talk about that more during the haul.